There we go. And peace to the God. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, sir.
Yeah, how you doing, big brother? See you doing
Oh,
pretty good, looking
yes,
good and
sir.
everything. How's everything been going?
Yeah, president accounted for, man, so that's and just striving to be upright,
Yeah, true indeed. True indeed. Yeah.
maintain it, because once we get it,
Mhm.
that's one, and then we have to maintain it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've been placed myself upright, so I'm in the process of maintaining my uprightness.
Yeah, yeah, true
Yes,
indeed,
sir.
true
Yes,
indeed.
sir. Yes,
Yeah, I've
sir.
seen some of the bills and stuff you been doing on Facebook and whatnot, and the joint you did with Sister Denise, I believe it.
Right.
That, yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are powerful, man. Yeah, you've been dropping some powerful, information, on the health and nutrition, and I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You know, um, out of that, I just wanted to, build on just a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? I know I got to get ready to, I know I hope and it's not too late either, is it, brother? Because I
Oh
know
no, sir.
normally
No,
we build
sir.
usually during the daytime, earlier in the
Right.
day. I know it's kind of late now, but and I'm gonna lay it down in a minute myself. But
Right.
you touched on the science of breathing,
Yes, sir.
and that was really, really interesting, just some of the jewels you was dropping. I kind of wanted you to, just kind of just touch on that just a little bit with the science of the human being and our breathing and, how many breaths per minute and stuff like that. I know you went into it with the sister. I just wanted
Yes,
you to
sir.
expound on that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a beautiful topic
Hmm.
and question because that's the root of my business, of my health
Yeah.
business.
Right.
So, because I have my garden business, I'm also a licensed cosmetologist, got my
Okay.
home remodeling business. So, but in my health business, the
Mm.
root of that is breathing, right? That's
Mm.
the first thing you do and the last thing you do,
So in other words, it's
right?
very important that,
But when you tell people, okay, I'm gonna show you how to breathe, the first thing they say is, I'm breathing right now.
right, right,
One
right.
of the most classic, unfortunate examples we have is our brother Eric Gardner. We got
Mm.
his last words on a t-shirt. He's
Mm.
telling the world, I can't breathe, but to to somebody, if you can talk, you can breathe.
Right, right.
But he was breathing the wrong way. He was mouth
Mm.
breathing.
Mm.
So he literally, and I'm not taking nothing off the Pope, please. I mean, I don't,
Oh yeah.
and I hate using him as an example, not saying you, but that's a
Right.
very touchy subject. And I'm not taking nothing away from the police. But that's an example we all saw, in that we can go back and see, okay, if you watch him breathing, he was,
Hmm.
I can't breathe. That's not
Right.
how we, and scientifically, that's how you asphyxiate yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you don't die from lack of breath, you die from CO2 poisoning, because I didn't get enough CO2 out. And my
Hmm.
cells need oxygen. So when
Right.
you got a quick exhale,
Hmm.
you're not getting no CO2 out.
Right. Right.
And that's not, let alone getting O2 in, but
Hmm.
it's just as important as getting the that waste out.
Right. Right.
Because you talk about being acid.
Hmm.
For those that listen in homework, look
Right.
up blood acidity, and you will find that CO2 is at the root more than anything you could eat. Yes, you can
Okay.
eat alkaline acid foods, but look
Hmm.
at the path. It gotta go from your mouth, which is alkaline. Your
Right. The
the
enzymes and stuff.
saliva is alkaline. Okay, so it don't matter what you put in it. It's your mouth is gonna keep producing saliva, and it's
Right.
going to become alkaline. So now
Right.
you swallow it. It goes
Mm-hmm.
into the stomach, which is acidic,
Mm.
right? Now, once the stomach breaks it down, the
Mm.
nutrients are absorbed in the small intestines.
Mm.
Water is absorbed in the large intestines. So by the
Right.
time it gets to your blood, it's not what it was when you ate it.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Chemically, physically, right? It's not, it's broken down into little bitty. So the acidic is not there. The
Right.
pH has been. It's so you see. So how do you become acidic?
Mm-hmm.
Breathing
Mm.
controls your blood pH more than anything else.
Mm.
Because your blood, now let's look at the body. Your
Right.
first the first beat of the heart is called the pulmonary circuit.
Mm-hmm.
The blood goes to the lungs to
Mm-hmm.
become oxygenated. It comes
Right.
back to the heart. Then you have the general circuit
Mm-hmm.
circulation where it spreads it through the body. So
Mm-hmm.
when we come out of the womb,
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole process,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
now let's look at the respiratory system real quick, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you look
Mm-hmm.
at if you look at a now you got the wicked ones that will
Mm-hmm.
include the mouth, but the
Okay.
original respiratory system is your nose,
Nose.
your
Right.
your
Throat.
bronchial tube.
Uh.
Right, right. You got
Right.
two tubes. You got one
Mm-hmm.
that goes to your stomach, your
Right.
esophagus, and you got your
Mm-hmm.
trachea in the front that goes to your
Mm-hmm.
lungs. Right?
Right.
Now,
Right.
at the top of this,
Mm-hmm.
it's a piece of cartilage called the epiglottis. So it
Mm-hmm.
sits on top of your trachea or your
Okay.
so when you eat and drink, it covers
Mm-hmm.
it up. So
Mm-hmm.
food and water, because your trachea is in the front. So when you
Right.
eat and drink, it covers that tube up so food and water won't go down. When you
Right.
breathe with your mouth, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta force that epiglottis open to get air. The mouth
So.
is only supposed to use when you're doing mouth to mouth.
Right. 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 So it's more efficient for the human being to breathe out of the nose, which has
Okay,
a natural filtration system as well, as far as the nose hairs, and stuff like that, from letting
you
germs
got
or.
two tubes, right?
Mm-hmm.
One tube is connected the trachea to your lungs. The
Mm-hmm.
esophagus in the back is connected to your stomach. If you put something in your mouth, where does it
Mm-hmm.
go? To your stomach.
Mm-hmm. Oh
That's a
yeah. Yeah.
one-way street, brother.
Yeah.
Because when
Yeah.
it goes to your stomach, it's coming out your anus. That's a
Right.
one-way
Right.
street. This is your
Right.
gastrointestinal tract,
Right.
not
Right.
your airway. Right.
Right.
So
Right.
if you
Right.
look up your intestinal tract, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
see your mouth. Right. Right. You
You're
feel
right.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
Okay,
remember,
so
I
but
remember a brother told me this was years ago, it was old
mhm.
ago, and he was just like, yeah, you could tell a lot, or the difference between someone who got the knowledge of self or civilized person, who's living according to the high science versus one who I guess is not quite there yet, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And is still learning maybe, or just not even learning at all. You
Right.
could tell a lot by the posture, the way they stand,
Mhm.
even the way they breathe, like the God was like, you see people breathing out their mouth. Sometimes you be in the hood, you see hood dudes that,
We got it from
and he always
Jordan.
got his mouth open or whatever, and that's improper breathing, you know what I'm saying? And, just to add to what you were saying is right and exact. Yes, sir.
Michael Jordan taught us all how most black men how you sit there because he had his tongue out. So
Yeah.
when you look at your favorite sports figure, when you
Yeah.
look at the movies, because they gotta exaggerate. So
Mm.
when you in karate, they teach you See,
Yeah.
the life teaches you how to
Right.
breathe wrong.
Right. It's improper. Yeah.
Okay, so if you do something, so now they ask, well, what if I'm breathing wrong? What's my mother done breathe wrong their whole life. They live. So everybody we know breathe wrong, right? So
Right.
when you do something you're not supposed to do with the body, that's called a
Mm-hmm.
stressor.
Mm,
So
yeah.
right. See, it's not just I'm angry, sad, mad. When you do anything, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
now let's look at habits. I don't always drink wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I do
Mm-hmm.
drink water. I don't
Mm-hmm.
always drink, right? I don't
Right.
always eat wrong. I do
Right.
eat right. What if
Right.
every breath you take is wrong? You are living under a state of stress. So
Mm,
now COVID-19 comes, the
mm,
flu comes, the cold comes, lupus, sickness. We're made of cells. The immune system is made of immune cells.
right.
The
Right.
endocrine system is made of, and the heart is made of. So every cell in the body needs oxygen because we are aerobic, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
you
sir.
got COVID. Let's use the present time, right? Because we
Hmm.
God, so we in the future perfect tense, right? So
Right.
you got an airborne particle.
Hmm.
How do you catch? Look at the terminology. You catch a cold. You catch. How do you catch it? If you, okay, now, how can something get inside of you, brother?
Right.
If
Right.
it's not going through the skin. So when you look, they say you get that tickle in your throat. Well,
Yeah.
how does
Yeah.
that bug get here? See, because
Mm.
in your nose, you got hairs that catch
Right.
things. You got
Right. Right.
nasal cavities that catch things.
Right. That's what I said.
Right?
That's the natural filtration system, in the
That's what
nose
the
and the,
HEPA filter is built off of that.
right. 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 Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So by
Yeah.
the time it gets to your trachea, you got
Hmm.
pure, warm oxygen. Nothing but
Mm.
oxygen. It's filtered out all. That's why you get nasal drips because
Right.
that's the
Right.
bad stuff that it caught being extracted out of you.
Right. Taken
Right?
out. Right. Right.
Right. So
Mm.
you get it. So, cause look, it's no filter in my mouth.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So when I force that air, it hits
Right.
the back of the throat.
Exactly.
Mm, man, I
Yeah.
got that little itch. Man,
Yeah.
you go get some tea. Look, let me get some tea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, right. See,
Mm.
but we studied because you got skin dander. Dust
Hmm.
is 90% skin dander.
Right. Yeah. Yes,
So
sir.
you
Yeah.
breathing people's molecules
Right.
in your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't no filter, man. They
Right.
say
Right.
by the age of 5, everybody is breathing wrong. You know how I
Yeah.
know? Because now we just went to the entrance. Okay.
Hmm.
So the breathing, what makes the lungs are like balloons. Okay. The
Hmm.
material of the lung is like a balloon. Even the tissue, you have to cause it to inflate.
Right. Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when you look at the chest, right under the chest cavities, you got your
Hmm.
diaphragm. This is what singers learn.
Hmm.
Beyonce and all of them, that's how they can break glass with their mouth
Hmm.
because they
Hmm.
learn how to take the breath in, a full breath, right?
From the
So,
diaphragm.
right, if you put one
Hmm.
hand on your stomach, when your stomach go, this is the purpose of the obliques and your
Hmm.
abs. When your
Hmm.
stomach, when those go out, your
Hmm.
diaphragm goes down, it
Hmm.
allows the lungs to have space to inflate.
Hmm.
When your
Yeah.
stomach goes back in, it pushes the diaphragm up, squeezing the lungs.
Hmm.
That's your
Hmm.
respiration.
Right. 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 Right.
The only
Have you
people,
heard?
I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, now, I was gonna say. I was gonna say. I remember hearing once. Like coming into the Nation of Islam, and you know, sometimes you hear a lot of things or whatever. And I heard like Master Fard Muhammad, the messenger said, well, he hardly seen him sleep or, what I'm saying? But he also mentioned that, he would chew food a certain amount of times before devouring the food to liquefy the, whatever he was eating,
Mhm.
so it would go down a lot smoother in his digestive tract. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
We have what, 32 teeth, I think it is in
Yes.
the mouth. So at least about
Yes.
32 times
Yes.
chewing a morsel of food before devouring. Have you heard that before,
Oh
or that
yeah. It,
we
it's
saw
it's in
scientifically it
it's in
makes
the
sense
book.
scientifically? Right.
It's
Okay.
it's
The
it's in
message
them.
mentioned that in the book.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, he said chew your food until it's a slurry and it easily slides down your throat. See, and that's called
Right.
mastication. Mastication,
Right.
right?
Mastication. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
remember him saying chew your food properly. I think
mhm,
in How to Eat to Live, or make sure you chew your food to completion or properly or something like. But I didn't really. Okay, I got to go back and look at that.
mhm,
Yes, sir.
mhm.
But yeah,
If
scientifically, we know it makes sense. Definitely.
you better, that's what indigestion. It's no. I think. See, we the white man has fed us a diet of fiction. So we'll
Yeah.
think it's metal gears in the stomach churning up the food. You dig? Like
Yeah.
it ain't
Yeah. Yeah.
no. It's a
Yeah.
bag. It's
I
like a
used to think that
bag.
too.
It just
Yeah.
shakes
I
the
used to
food
think that.
around until the
Yeah.
acid
Gears
breaks
and
it
stuff
down.
grinding up food.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see? So we think,
We get a bad idea of that, like you said, from the devil, teaching us, giving us the improper foods. That's a example of feeding us improper food,
yes.
but yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
you when we
Yeah.
don't chew it properly, see, we don't
Mm,
that allows us to not even think about chewing properly.
right.
Cause
Right.
I'm thinking my stomach gonna break this down. No, that's
Right. Right.
in you got sphincters. You got a sphincter
Mm,
at the top and at the bottom of the stomach. If you
mm,
if you got these big chunks, they clog up the sphincter. So now
mm,
the stomach inflates because it's a bag. So
right.
we man, we be fit. The stomach, everybody's stomach is the size of your hand, your fist. If you make a
Right.
fist,
Yeah.
that's still
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
what you eating and
Yeah. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And to all the meat eaters out there, I remember when I was, into eating meat and stuff like that, a lot of, like steaks or whatever the case may be. I remember a doctor once told me you never want to eat more than, if, in the palm of your hand.
Mhm,
That's the amount, if a piece of meat. But, if
mhm,
your family from the South
mhm,
or whatever, you ain't used to no meatless dishes. It's like, you got your sides on there, but you got more meat, if anything, than the
mhm,
sides.
mhm,
But
mhm,
he was
mhm,
like, you
mhm,
always want to
mhm.
eat less meat, preferably no bigger
Yes,
than the size of the palm of your hands going in your, stomach, so you wouldn't, destroy it or whatever.
and
Yeah.
and beloved, if you look at science, see, we
Mm,
and I love this is what I one of the things I love about the Nation of Islam, right?
mm-hmm.
Yes, they make you or not make you because the Bible says you are all God. So they this
Yeah.
is not something special with the
Yeah.
nation, but they make
Yeah.
you a scientist. They make you want to be a scientist. Let me read because they make you want to be scientific, as they say, a bean soup science. They make you want to break
Right.
stuff down all the way. Okay, so if
Well.
we break meat down, we got to
Hmm.
start with everything is energy. Okay,
Right.
so
Right.
another assignment, look up human energy, the tropic system,
Mm,
TROPIC, the tropic system. That discusses
mm,
the human energy. You got at the bottom, it's a pyramid. At the bottom, you
mm.
got the producers, which are the plants, right? At
Okay.
the top,
Right.
the first eater of the plants are called herbivores.
Right.
Then
Herbivores.
above
Right.
that, you
Like
got the
us.
carnivores, which eat
Hmm.
meat and plants. Okay.
Right.
But at the top, you when a plant can own it tells you a plant can only give you 10% of its
Hmm.
energy because it uses 90% to live. So meat
Mm,
eaters or herbivores, they are getting only 10% of the energy from the plants. Meat
hmm.
eaters, the animal has to live. That cow,
Mm,
that chicken, that fish. So you only get approximately 1% of
mm,
energy from meat. You
mm,
use more energy to chew it up and digest
And
it than you can
digest
get
it.
from
Right,
it.
right,
That's the
right.
hard.
Yes,
See,
sir.
we don't talk about what's the protein and the iron.
Yes, sir.
No, 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 no. Everything is energy. That's white man
Right,
technology.
right.
He just got called in that. That's different forms of energy. You see,
Exactly.
right, 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 right.
That kind of brings me to like the next question,
Mhm.
because there's been a myth going around in the conscious community for some years now. I would even say over a decade. Eat toward your blood type. Whatever your blood type is, you
Yeah,
should eat
yeah,
according to
yeah,
your blood type.
yeah,
And I heard Dr. Ali Muhammad. I think we was building. I sent you a video.
yeah.
Where he talked about it and kind of debunked it, and he pretty much said, what we eat as human beings, and of course the most honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't allude to anything concerning that as well, as far as eating towards your blood type or anything. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad was pretty much stern with what he said, as far as what determines the human being's food, or what we should be eating, is the nutrients
Mm-hmm,
in a particular food or whatever, the absorption rate or the digestion, and how the
mm-hmm,
body breaks down is going to
mm-hmm,
break down that food.
mm-hmm.
And one more, he said, one more. Oh man, I can't think of what it is. But that's powerful, because that, like what you just said, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of debunks, or helps to debunk, that theory that people used to say, don't eat toward, eat towards your natural blood type. But what would you say, concerning that
And
that that
I looked
theory?
at it because
Right,
I broke down. I mean, all the cells in our body aren't the same.
right.
So that's usually what your craving is. Fat,
Mm-hmm.
like fat cells,
Mm-hmm.
they send out signals that make you want to eat fat
Mm-hmm.
because they want to survive. So,
Right.
when we're looking, and I looked at that to see, the
Mm-hmm.
significance of it. But in some of
Mm-hmm.
those diets, like they promote eating meat or
Right.
um
Yeah.
like stuff that you should not eat, kale.
You should not be eating, right, as long as it's to your blood type.
Right.
Yeah,
But
go on
even
and
if
eat it. It's your blood
right,
type.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
it's not human food, so it can't be.
Right.
Now, I can take anything and put it under a microscope, and because it's
Mm-hmm.
the vitamins and minerals, the energy, it's in light. That's in everything. So I can take apart any natural thing and find vitamins, minerals, and protein. I get that's a given, because this
Right.
is how life grows. But that
Right.
doesn't
Right.
mean I can put it inside of me,
Right.
because now I'm a certified nutrition specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Dietarily, there are only 9 elements that we need dietarily. So
Mm-hmm.
everything that we got is not a dietary requirement, because we don't use these things. The
Right.
only dietary and the main thing that we have is carb. See, okay, up now, let's crack this. Now let's get this. You can't you can't. Vitamins, minerals are considered your micronutrients.
Right.
Micro is short for microscopic, meaning
Right.
I need a microscope to see the amount that I need, right?
Right.
Your
Right.
macronutrients are your carbs, your fat, and your protein, in that order. Our
Mm.
body uses oxygen and glucose to make energy, ATP.
Mhm.
Glucose is
Right.
a carb. If you look up
Right.
photosynthesis, the end
Mm.
product is oxygen and carbohydrates. So the carb is
Mm.
sunlight in chemical form. Okay?
Right. Chemical food. Right. Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right. So
Carbohydrate.
our bodies, so when you look at a low carb diet, that's where
Mm.
ketones come from. A low carb,
Right. Right.
okay,
Right.
right. The
Yeah.
only way you can
Yeah.
get ketones is if you have a and ketones will kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will. Oh, so you got
Yeah.
people saying, okay, yes, you can get energy from protein, But let's okay,
Mm-hmm.
the cells in your because the micronutrient now energy is measured in calories,
Right.
kilocalories, right? So
Right.
my vitamins and minerals have 0 calories, like water. So they
Right.
cannot contain or produce energy. It's listen, I
Mhm.
know you popped it and you made you it stimulated you. Coffee
Right.
is
Yeah.
a stimulant. It doesn't have
Stimulant.
energy.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Carbs,
Right.
fat, protein are your calories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we are looking at that, the body uses glucose and oxygen. If you are
Mm-hmm.
short on glucose, it will take fat, you got glucolysis, and proteins,
Mm-hmm.
and it will turn it into glucose
Mm.
and then use it. So when you got those protein diets that people say I'm losing weight, because
Right.
the process to turn protein into glucose is so hard,
Mm.
it
Yeah.
makes the
Yeah.
body lose weight unnaturally. But you're
Mhm.
developing ketones. Now you got
Right.
to do the
Right.
ketone test to see if your ketone levels in your blood.
Right. 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 I heard Dr. Sabi, because a lot of he said a lot of things too. Of course, he used to be FOI, in the Nation of Islam, but he eventually started to do his own thing and some of his own research and studies. But he mentioned once about foods that are alkaline, water that's alkaline for the body. But you said something earlier, which I recently discovered myself through research, is that the body has a natural alkaline
Yeah,
system
yeah,
to
it has.
where,
Yeah, you
when you
can't.
mentioned chewing the
Yeah,
food, right, is one of the
yes,
main things that you do to produce that in the jaws, with the
right.
saliva and the natural enzymes. So, yes, sir. It's like a lot of things, it begins to come full circle,
See now,
It's just, it's wild, God.
to be forth, I've never heard of Dr. Sabi until I got on Facebook,
Yeah,
and I didn't get.
yeah.
And this was 2000 because people kept saying, I my Facebook is my business page. That's the only reason I
Hmm.
started it, right? So,
Right.
and when people started hearing my health science, they kept saying, Dr.
Hmm.
Sabi, you sound, and I'm like, who the hell is Dr. I just graduated college. I never heard, I got a college degree in health and wellness, holistic medicine. I've never, and I'm like, and it made me look him up. And I was like,
I heard of them, but I heard of them, but I just never seen them until the internet.
and that's okay now. Okay, now. Okay, since we are, okay, now, we just talked about breathing. Okay, if you don't
Hmm.
sleep, get
Hmm.
rest, right? Your
Hmm.
immune system is impaired. You are accumulating damage. Okay, that has
Right.
no, you can't eat the answer to that. You can't drink the answer to that. You gotta get
Right.
rest. If you aren't
Right.
breathing right, your cells need oxygen and glucose to make energy. That means you are missing one of the components to making energy. You can't eat that. You can't drink that, supplement it, drug. They will hook an oxygen mask up that holds up to your nose.
Right. Right.
Okay, where they put the? Why do they
Mhm.
put the face? Why do they? Why is the face mask generally? Because you're mouth breathers.
Mm.
See, so you
Mm.
need, so you sweet. They know we swallowing this stuff, so they just don't
Yeah.
teach you to shut your mouth and breathe properly.
Right. Right.
I don't, and I'm counting because I gotta give my nose a chance to work. So if I'm,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
no. I'm still,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you look up the wrong ways to breathe, over breathing,
Mm.
mouth breathing. My
Mm.
inhale is too short, my exhale is too short.
Mm.
So I teach
Mm.
my clients to learn to breathe. You count the 4 on the way in, you count the
Mm.
6 on the way out,
Mm.
because you want to make sure you're getting all that CO2 out. Your exhale should be
Right.
longer than your inhale.
Right. Mm.
But
Indeed.
just those two
Indeed.
areas. Look, if you're not getting enough sunlight, Okay, the more melanin.
Mm,
Now, vitamin D3, that's
mm,
the cholecalciferol. That's come
mm,
from the UVB ray in the sun.
mm,
Okay,
mm,
melanin is a natural UV protectant of the A and the B. So the more
right.
melanin you have, that means you got to stay out because it's blocking some of that UVB ray. So where white people can go out for 15 minutes, okay,
Mm,
we blocking. The darker you are, you need an hour, 2 hours. If you don't get
mm,
enough sunlight, you can't
mm.
supplement no damn sun. You can't. You know where the vitamin D in the bottle come from? Lanolin. That's the fat
Yeah,
of the
England.
sheep wool. The fat
Yeah.
on the
Mm.
bruh. Instead of
Yeah.
standing out,
Yeah.
you see. So if you don't do those three things, breathe right, right, get enough
Mm,
sunlight, get enough rest,
mm,
and no, the number two killer is being sedentary. If you
mm,
don't do
mm,
those four things, it don't matter what doctor say.
mm,
It you can have the best food. Your
mm,
body will that's those four are causes of death
mm.
because they are
Sedentary meaning like sedentary meaning just like not doing anything, sitting still, not moving. You
every
mean like
15. If
you
you
have to keep
sit
the
during the daytime, during the
mm,
daylight hours, the circadian rhythm,
mm,
your cells are up and pumping. If you
right.
sit for longer than 15 minutes, you are
You're
sedentary.
damaging.
You're sedentary.
Okay.
At the 15-minute
Okay.
mark, your metabolism,
Mm.
look, this is science. They say when it
Yeah, yeah,
hits
yeah, yeah.
15,
Factual fact.
your
Hmm.
metabolism turns off, your endocrine system turns off, your reproductive system. So women have breast cancer, uterus problems, vaginal problems. Men got prostrate. We got all of these because all of your systems are turned off. Literally,
Wow.
this means no life energy is going to them because you are
Nothing
in
is
a
coming in.
state of stress.
Right, right, right. Mm. Wow. That's
So,
powerful.
and now your body is producing adrenaline. And see, you think
Hmm.
you're living because your
Hmm.
body is producing adrenaline and cortisol to keep
Hmm.
you going. So
Right.
now at the end of the
Mm.
day, you don't work 8 hours. You're tired. See, because you come home tired, right?
Mm.
Because I have used adrenaline and cortisol to get me through the day.
Mm.
At the end of the gym period, you feel good. See, at the end of exercise, right? You come out
Mm.
the gym,
Mm.
shoot, you hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You might hit the
yeah,
gym before you go out just so you can get swole real quick, so they can see you
right,
smoke.
right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, true indeed. True
People will
indeed. True
exercise in
indeed.
the morning to get that them endorphins, that serotonin, that
Yeah, yeah,
dopamine,
yeah.
right? See,
Right,
so
right.
when we don't understand how to use these things medicinally,
Mm. Mm.
because if a lack
Yeah.
of it hurts me, when I do
Mm.
it, it strengthens me. You feel what I'm saying?
Right, right,
So
right,
if I
right,
look at
right.
look at Beyonce, the only reason she can sing is because she learned how to breathe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's not the only thing we can
Mm.
do with it. You think? Like that's
Mm.
not the only
Mm.
look. If you learn how to breathe, you can sing and you can break glass. Ah, boom.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
now
yeah.
that's you mean the only thing I could do with my voice is break glass? So we know
Mm.
wisdom is the wise words using to
Mm.
wake up, right?
Mm.
So
Mm.
if I'm breathing
Right.
right and my singing sounds better, how would my words
Mm.
of God, my build sound if I'm breathing right? You see what I'm saying? Man, yo,
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah,
to tell
yeah.
you, bro.
I think it affects life on all stages, proper breathing, you know what I'm saying? And I know like the closest I've came to like learning or understanding some of the sciences of it is, of course, like with martial arts and whatnot, and
Mm-hmm.
Tai Chi and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
it teaches you, proper
Mm-hmm.
breathing, or it gives you at least some doorway to understanding
Right.
what proper breathing is for the human being to build up the proper amounts of energy that you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or I
To
think it's
break
called the chi.
bricks,
You know? Right. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
put to
Yeah.
make your
Yeah.
skin stronger than that knife. All you doing
Right.
is breathe. You don't spend all day. You go,
Mhm.
all right, come on.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
should be
Yeah.
able to apply that anywhere in my body. So you dig
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I'm a,
Yeah.
a man.
Listen, but it kind of gives you the understanding of Islam
Yes.
and salat or prayer. Because in prayer, of course, you sitting, you're calm, you're meditating. You need to do that. The human being needs to do that, especially in the world that we living in today. You need, even if it's nothing but just 5, 10, 15 minutes to come in, relax, breathe,
Mm-hmm.
get yourself back in order, calm
Mm-hmm.
down, and then go back out into the world. But if you never take a moment to do that, to realign your breathing or your, whatever it is, it can be detrimental.
It's your
You know
blood
what I'm
pressure,
saying? Yeah, yeah. That's when you get into blood stress, blood pressure,
man. They
and
call
all
that the
these other
silent. Look,
things.
they call blood pressure the silent killer, but people don't think
It's
that's
not
what
a
people
killer.
dying from.
Yeah,
They call
yeah.
it the silent
Wow.
killer, man. That means
Yeah.
the only way you know you have it is when it's killing you. Now
Wow.
you got a 2 to 4 minute window because it's dealing with your oxygen in your heart, right?
Mm.
So
Right.
because after that
Right.
lack of oxygen, neurons start to die, cells start this irreparable damage. They don't want to
Mm-hmm.
bring you
Mm-hmm.
back because you're gonna be a vegetable, comatose. You dig what I'm saying? So
Mm.
right. So you're looking at now blood pressure. Look at your blood. Look at the. Oh, you got people talking about eat this blood pressure. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, now they don't even break the blood pressure down. It's two numbers: your systolic, your diastolic. The systolic is
Mm.
the amount of pressure in your arteries pushing your blood. The diastolic
Mm-hmm.
is when that heart goes whoop, when it goes to fill
Mm-hmm.
back up, that's your diastolic pressure.
Mm-hmm.
How much pressure does it take for your
Mm.
heart to fill back up?
To contract and then build
Right.
back up.
So
Yeah.
when
Right.
you
Right.
test your blood pressure, when you move, your blood pressure
Mm-hmm.
goes up to support your movement. So when you
Mm-hmm.
test blood pressure, it's supposed to be your resting blood pressure, right? Because when you are
Mm-hmm.
sitting still, it should take no pressure to keep you alive. Your
Mm-hmm.
if you sit still for 20 to 30 minutes, right? Because that's what they
Mm-hmm.
if it's up, let's say you go to the emergency room, it's 140 over
Mm-hmm.
90. Oh man, they're gonna tell you,
Mm-hmm.
all right, look, um, no,
Hypertension or
they're gonna tell
pre-hypertension.
you sit still for a second because they're gonna retest it.
Oh yeah.
Right. They
Oh
sit,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Calm down for a minute. Chill for a minute.
Yes, because
Yeah.
they you sitting still, it's supposed to go that you're not doing nothing.
Right.
But we
Right.
be sitting there man, what they doing? Why they taking so long? The thought is driving. So
You're not sitting still. You're not sitting still
because
because
for everybody listening,
yeah.
they don't give you
Right.
medicine, water, all of them
Right.
Google remedies. They don't, they sits
Mm-hmm.
down, they tell you, we're gonna test you again.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
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 So because you sitting still breathing, it's a
Mm-hmm.
controls your blood pressure. Your if
Right.
you do like that, your heart, your blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you
Right.
go,
Right.
you're gonna feel your heart boom, 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 boom,
S-
boom, boom.
Slowing down or
Your
normalizing
blood
basically.
pressure is responding.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
your blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure is the stop your it's the correlation between your heart
The
pushing
systolic.
and filling up. So if
Right.
you control your breathing, you control your heart, you control your blood pressure. Man.
It's just that easy.
See,
It's just that
y'all owe
easy.
me. Hey, I usually you gotta be a client to get this information.
Yeah,
Cause
you
this,
dropping some jewels, bud.
I do have a business
Yeah,
now. So Supreme
yeah,
Health and
yeah.
Wellness, I do have a legitimate real
Sure do.
business. This is
Sure do.
look. I'm okay. Uh-huh.
One thing about it, you know what I'm saying, is like, with pretty much, getting this knowledge of self and growing in it is such a beautiful thing because once you understand the science of something, once you, like in this case, we're talking about eating
Mm-hmm,
proper
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
nutrition. Once you understand the science of, what foods to eat, what foods to store,
mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? The proper way to eat it once every 24 hours, chewing your food at least 32 times before devouring it. That, like there is so much to life, but it's like it just goes to bear witness what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. Like the human being, 1,000 years, basically. Like we can actually live to be 1,000 years old. That's not nothing that's inconceivable, or maybe today is inconceivable because we don't understand the science, the
No, it's
85%.
because we don't want
But
to
when you
live that
understand the
long.
science, say it
It's
again.
because we don't want to live that long.
Oh,
Yeah. See, you live. We
yeah.
live. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, when you got tired of living, you broke the
You
dietary.
began to increase your diet.
It takes 75 years to learn how to live. See, we think we living my best
Oh,
life. Look, I gotta die from something. Cheers.
right, right.
Hey, cowabunga, jump off the bungee cord, right? Okay, right? Okay, right? Hey, look, then they
Yeah,
hit you with,
yeah,
look, Jesus, I'm blessing it. All right, it's sanctified now.
yeah,
Okay, see? So when you don't
yeah,
even, your body follows you, right?
yeah,
When
yeah,
you was
yeah. That's a
13,
fact.
12, 13, 14, we started to be,
Mm.
look, I'm 13, but I'm telling everybody I'm 18, right? So
Yeah,
I'm dressing, I comb my hair like the 18-year-olds. I'm dressing like the 18,
yeah,
I'm talking, right? My body followed me
yeah,
and started growing old.
yeah. Wow,
see,
that's
see,
powerful.
see,
That's
see,
powerful.
see.
Hey, as about what Jesus says in the Bible, the scripture says, "As a man thinketh,
Mm,
so is he." So
mm,
it just goes to show you that, like fasting, even before making salat, a prayer, there's always this stage of niyyah
mm,
or
mm,
intention. You gotta be thinking about it in your head and bring it to fruition in your head first.
mm,
And then after your mind really starts to really think and facet on that and believe that,
mm.
it produces.
Bruh,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
got, look, we talked about exercise, I got the book. We talked about sunlight, I
Right,
got the book. We talked about carbs.
right.
These are my books that I wrote because I'm telling, we talking about the thought. I got the books.
Yeah.
I didn't just, I
Wow.
studied it and I took that science, and this is for us. This ain't just for the world.
Right,
This is for the original people.
right,
You dig what I'm saying?
right. The
So
original nation. Yeah.
because if I don't know how my brain works, so we
Mhm.
hear these beautiful things about the mind and thought, but if I don't know how
Mm.
the process works, I can't use it. I
Right.
become a
That's
victim
what I
of it
said.
because
Right,
I can.
right. That's why I said it's just understanding the rudimentary foundation of a
Mm-hmm,
thing. Once you understand the science of a
mm-hmm,
thing, it's like it's almost like, we say Master Fard Muhammad taught the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but even though that was 3.5 years of teaching and then he departed from him, from the basic stuff that he taught him, the rudimentary science of everything in existence, from that, the messenger can now go out and learn and understand
mm-hmm,
everything in existence. You know what I'm saying? So once you get the basis of how the digestive tract
mm-hmm.
works, or the basis of how the brain works, or you can. I mean, it's powerful, God. You
What the
know,
what
it's
the
powerful.
lessons say we got here in America, right? Based on an interpretation. Can the devil fool a Muslim? Not nowadays. You mean he fooled them
Mm,
379 years ago? Yes, the trader made an interpretation about this gold. So now the interpretation isn't about gold. It's about health.
mm,
It's about wealth.
right,
You got
right,
not just, and I'm not knocking
right,
Dr. Sadie, but you got him, Dr.
right.
Layla Africa, Dr. The brother
Mhm.
Ali Muhammad. You got all of these, and you even believe, even those that say they believe in this, right? But they they
Right,
they produce. They not giving this as the answer. In here it says fasting is
right,
our cure, right? So what does that mean? That means I'm fasting from the things that I were doing that hurt me, that put me in the sick condition. Because my
right,
body,
right,
your body begins healing as soon as you stop the injury. You break the bone, it's inflamed, blood, nutrients, new nerves, new cells, new arteries, new veins, they're coming. And if you don't set it, it don't matter. It'll heal crooked, right? Soon as you cut yourself, the healing is coming. Boom, right?
right.
So that's all the way in us. We just
Allah set the universe on an evolutionary course. In other words,
come on now.
it can heal itself. Everything was put there, and then all you got to do once you understand what's going on, pretty much you let the universe do what it do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people hear that and it may sound spooky, but it's really not spooky when you understand what's going on. Everything in the universe was created in truth and righteousness. So it's like everything keeps evolving towards that. You know what I'm saying? When the human being is damaged, we know that the Holy Quran, one of the names, the Arabic names for it, is the healing, Al
Mhm,
Shifa.
mhm,
You know, so it's a book of healing. It produces for you the proper dosage of healing that you need at whatever time that you're in with your people, and you can fix whatever condition you want to
mhm.
fix. So just understanding that is just so it's just remarkable.
Which
You know what I mean?
and
You know,
it's not, it's deep. It's enough
yeah,
for a lot of people to be correct.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
It's enough where I can be correct, you could be correct, she could be correct, they could,
yeah,
and that's the
yeah,
beauty of it because it's from what I study. My course of
right,
study
right,
was
right,
strictly holistic medicines. So I never, I
right.
mean, we had to do pre-med in the allopathic, but
Mm-hmm,
that was it. So
mm-hmm,
I didn't never look at their remedies, which is nothing but drugs and
mm-hmm,
other stuff like that. We went to how to use your mind to heal your body,
mm-hmm,
right? In
mm-hmm,
Islam and Sufi
right,
Islam, they
right.
got you can look up the videos. It's called rapid wound healing, right? Rapid
Mm,
wound heal. Now, the Sufis, this is the Sufis over there, right? They
mm-hmm,
intentionally hurt
mm-hmm,
themselves as soon as they pull it out. It's no end. They got videos. It's a whole science
wow,
called rapid wound healing. Listen, yo, and they using their mind. You dig?
wow. That's
So
powerful. That's
if you
powerful.
gotta if you can watch a video where somebody will lay on a board of spikes, right? Put the brick on it
Mm-hmm,
and tell you to boom, right?
mm-hmm.
Get up
Right, with a sledgehammer or
and
whatever.
there's no marks, right? But
Mm-hmm,
you can get a paper cut. What's
mm-hmm,
the difference? The mindset.
mm-hmm,
See, he told his body, when you ain't thinking, you can
mm-hmm,
a piece of paper can cut you. Wow. See, when
mm.
you're not thinking,
Wow.
right,
Mhm.
that's how you get a paper
That's
cut.
powerful.
You be like, oh, you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You
Wow.
see,
Yeah, that's
that's the
powerful, God.
that's the power of the mind that we have over ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Before we shut it out, I wanted to ask one more question too. Just I was listening to Dr. Wesley Muhammad, and he talked about the testosterone conspiracy. I don't know if you caught the lecture, but he was just basically saying in a nutshell that they plan and Allah plan, and Allah is the best of planners. Because in the year 1930, upon the starting of the Nation of Islam, when Master Fard Muhammad came over here and finally opened the doors to the first, you know what I'm saying, temple of the Nation of Islam in 1930, that same period was when the white man began his assault on, you know, black people, as far as just trying to eliminate us, you know, because they had already emancipated us or freed us from the plantation and get on out of here, niggas. Go on out there and fend for
Right.
yourself. And that's just what we did, you know. But as you know, we just recently had the 100th year commemoration or celebration, you know, just for, I ain't gonna say celebration, but just to commemorate the people in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you know, back then, where, you know, the race
Right.
riots, or not what they, you know, used as a euphemism. Really, it was race
Right.
massacres, you know what I'm saying, the way they murdered black people. But, you know, the white man seen how black people were coming up, you know, with very little education.
Mhm.
And within family and the family structure, black people during that time had the largest uh, you know, marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like when we got married, we stayed
Right.
together
Right.
among any other ethnic group, you know what I'm saying, at that time. But when Master Fard Muhammad opened the doors to the Nation of Islam and gave this knowledge out to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam, the devil, of course, counteracted by, you know, looking within the germ now of the original man and understanding something about testosterone. And Dr. Wesley talked about the testosterone conspiracy, how a lot of drugs or things, you know, products that we buy in stores, a lot of things are, he even talked about, you know, the marijuana, you know, how it's, you know, grafted, you know, it's not original, and it causes, you know, effemination, effeminized, you know, men to be, you know, what have you heard about any studies? Have you seen any studies concerning that, or have
I
you, you know?
before the brother Dr. Wesley came out, I got
Mm,
some videos
mm,
on that because in school, obesity is tied to the feminization of a man.
right, right.
It's
I heard that before.
obesity
Yes, sir.
is tied to a man's low testosterone. So right,
Testosterone. Yes,
and
sir.
one of my one of my finals was we had to pick
Mm,
a health crisis, and I picked obesity because
mm,
that was something that
mm.
is rampant in our community.
It's most common. Right. Most
Right.
pervasive. Yes, sir.
So, and in my studies of it, that's when I did my videos. So I'm like, hold up, all fruits are females.
Mm,
Strawberry is one of the highest estrogen foods out there. They use it
mm,
for natural um, estrogen balancing with women. Chicken
no,
is the second
wow.
highest, most estrogen food out there. We love some so and I'm looking like, hold up, man, plastic. It's in my book, in one of my textbooks, the article
Mm,
was, Are we feminizing the planet? From
mm,
plastic is a
mm,
natural estrogen product. And by in
mm,
this, so they was like, it by them dumping it in the just because you can't get rid of it, just by it's
right.
leaching, and that was the study,
Mm,
was is plastic, are
mm,
we feminizing the planet? Blew my mind. This
wow.
I'm like, yo. So I did a research on plastic, and so
Mm,
and this was without any diabolical intentions.
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
purposely
Right.
targeting, because it was like, are we feminizing the plant? They were finding so many species being
Mm-hmm.
from plastic interactions with plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And we love, this
Wow.
is touching, this ain't just food great, this is touching it.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? Breathing
Mm.
the, because
Oh, so you don't have not the consumption of it, but just the mere touching.
yes,
You
guess what's the worst kind of
wow.
plastic?
What's that?
PVC.
Like what they make
Oh,
pipes and
stop
stuff
it!
and
Stop it!
no,
Stop it!
no?
Stop it! That's when they make, okay, plastic is made from oil. So when they refine oil,
Right.
they got the kerosene, they got the gas, and they was left over with all, because you can't destroy matter. So you can,
Okay.
when you
Right.
extract and you still got stuff left over. Then you got candles,
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. Then they got to plastic, right? Polyesters and these,
Mm-hmm.
anything, almost anything poly is coming from that oil plastic, right? So,
Right.
right,
Polyurethane. Yeah.
the one of the
Mm-hmm.
last breakdowns was PVC, and they didn't know what to
Mm.
do with it, and they discovered to make pipes out of it. You go in, and now
Right.
if you look under
Wow.
your sinks, almost every sink has PVC pipes. So when we're looking at, and I'm only saying this because everybody doesn't smoke weed. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
isn't around to be attacked, but they
Right.
are feminized.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
are obese. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So you feel what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like when you looking
Mm.
at, and I came at it from, look, you might be feminizing yourself. I don't. I'm in support of. I'm not. This ain't because and then people was telling me, hey, Dr. Wesley said that. I heard Dr. Wesley say that, and I'm like, hey, yes, this is from what you could be doing to yourself unintentionally.
Right. Right. Wow. Yeah, that's deep right there, man. It's like, the beast went to work, because he knew one of the main line of defenses, or the greatest defense for the black man, of course, is, we're melanated, highly melanated beings, and we have a higher, rate or level of
Mhm.
testosterone, and you know,
You know what makes
they had to
testosterone,
do
beloved?
something about that.
If you
Say it
look
again.
up the two best ways to make testosterone, exercise
Mm,
and resting.
mm, mm,
Lean muscle mass, that's testosterone.
mm,
When we have that
mm,
balance, that's your natural fat burner, that's your natural energy level,
right.
that's your natural manhood, right? So
Mm,
we
mm.
have estrogen in us, that because we have that
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
chromosome.
yeah,
When
yeah.
it's, like I
Right.
said, that now having too much fat,
Mm,
because that fat interferes with the production of estrogen. So
right,
when you see
right, right.
somebody
Some
with,
some
go ahead.
fats are good, or good
Yeah,
to
yeah,
have. I
yeah,
was just
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say
yeah.
some fats are
You
good to
got a
have in the human.
percentage of
Okay,
body.
yeah.
You're born with fat. Fat is energy. It's so
Right,
if
right,
you
right,
can't
right,
starve to death with fat. When we
right,
carry
right,
fat,
right, right.
when you having a
Right.
collection of white adipose fat tissue, it's sending signals because
Mm,
these are cells. So they will, and the more
right.
fat you have, the more craving of fat foods you're going to have. That blocks the
Mm, mm,
testosterone. So now the
mm,
fat starts to develop and makes the man soft features. So you'll have the soft chubby fingers, the soft jaws, right? You'll have
mm,
the
mm,
breasts, the looking pregnant.
mm,
The This is a man.
mm.
The backside
Yeah.
gets, because that's what's happening. That's not,
Mm,
this is without diabolical forces.
right, right, right. Wow. Mm, that's powerful,
Yo,
man. I mean, we definitely living in the time of, Armageddon,
Yeah.
as the scriptures say, the righteous versus the wicked, and it's definitely a time of war between the two gods, like our Minister Farrakhan did that lecture, The Gods at War. That's definitely what's going on, man, because it's like one god scientifically is trying to break down the other god. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's a war of the minds.
We
You know
don't
what I'm
want to
saying?
leave, bro.
You know,
We we
yeah,
we wanna
yeah,
we wanna
yeah,
we wanna stay attached.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta go to work.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say the messenger said when the those old patriarchs who lived to be 900, 1,000, when they were ready to die, when they were ready to leave here, they began to increase their diet, increase the food intake. You know what I'm
And
saying? And
if
they
we
were just
start out with an increased food
mm,
intake, we can't make it past
uh,
40, 50, 60.
you wear away your digestive tract, you wear all of those precious organs, you know what I'm saying, to get weared away
You
before
now,
time, you
okay,
know.
take away that, right? Because you can watch
Mm,
my 400-pound life and you can watch them big people still living. Okay, right.
mm,
Because
mm,
skinny, you can go to funerals of skinny people, right?
right.
So when you eat, one of the first things that you feel is tired
Yeah.
because the body can't do two things at one time. It
One
can't
time. That's right.
digest food and fight sickness.
Right.
So
Right.
if you always digest it, you might not be putting stuff in your
Mm,
mouth, but the stomach is
mm,
always activated. So now these
mm.
little viruses that our body could easily take care of because we are,
Beat them up 1, 2, 3.
but we in a state of digestion. So the body doesn't even
Yeah.
know this stuff is in us.
Yeah, yeah. I think I said that to a brother one time. I was like, one of the best ways I found from fighting the common cold, just a regular, or even if you have the flu, don't eat, starve it
Starve it
out.
out.
And the brother's like, come on, man, that don't even make no sense, bro. You gotta eat, man. You gotta still eat at least 3 times a day because your body's weak. So you gotta eat to give it the energy because you weak, you sick. I'm like, no, you don't eat no more.
And
Stop. Stop
tell them,
eating for
tell
at
them,
least
open up a
24 hours.
science book
Trust me.
and see where energy comes from. And science says energy comes from the
Mm,
sun. Yeah.
exactly.
Science says so. If you're going to eat when you sick, go outside, get some sun, eat some sunlight. That's where the energy
Right,
comes from.
right, right. Yeah, that's
But
right. That's
that's too
right.
easy for
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we make it difficult. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, brother, it's always good building
Yes,
with you,
sir.
man.
Yes,
I ain't gonna
sir.
hold you
Yes,
too
sir.
late. I gotta get one so I can lay it
Yes, sir,
on
beloved. Yes,
down,
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, beloved.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man, definitely it's always enlightening when I build with you, man. I get a lot out of it. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying?
Vice
So,
versa. Vice versa.
definitely. Anything you want to say though?
Say that again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I say anything you want to say, before we get off, any upcoming events or programs or
Oh,
builds you're gonna do, you want people to, you can mention real
I've been
quick.
invited to the NNV network.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
This
The
Tuesday, yeah,
National
this
News
Tuesday
Network.
I will be on. I don't know when it's going to be I'm not for sure if it's going to be broadcast that day, but this Tuesday coming up,
Mhm.
I've been invited to do a segment on that show, which is beautiful. But other than
Okay,
that,
just you by yourself or you and another speaker?
I know they have a lineup. So I know Dr. Keeley
Okay.
does his segment on Tuesdays as
Oh,
well.
okay.
We're not together.
Yeah,
It's
Dr.
like
Kelly.
15, 20 minute sec. Everybody has their own question to answer little
Right.
segment. But I know
A little workshop type of thing.
his day is on Tuesdays as well. So, but this will be my first time.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, definitely drop me the
Oh
link.
yeah,
I'll
yes,
check it
sir. Yes,
out.
sir. I
You
sure
know what I'm
will.
saying? I know it's gonna be powerful. Dr. Achilles, Dr. Achilles is powerful,
Yes, sir.
man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah. So definitely, God, drop me the
Yes,
link,
sir.
man. Yes, sir. Well, yes, sir, God. I'm gonna leave you as I came in the greeting words of
I,
peace. Say it in Arabic language. Assalamu
Alaikum
alaikum.
assalam, sir. All right, soldier.
Peace to the
Peace.
God. Peace.